here is a 2017 Toyota Tundra. First thing you want to do is you're going to have the vehicle running, because you're going to remove the two Phillips screws that are on both sides of the steering column cover, so that you can remove this lower steering column cover. Not all vehicles have this. This is power tilt. You might not have this on your vehicle, but we're going to again take those two screws out and then remove that lower cover, and it just unclips. Okay, so now the cover's out of the way. We're going to go down to the bottom of the dashboard here, and there's a 10mm screw here, and there's another 10mm screw behind this kick panel right here. We're going to remove those two screws. When you pull out the kick panel, you'll see right here there's supposed to be a plastic clip in there. If the clip came out, you're going to have to unclip it from up inside there. You can see it inside there, and put it back in here, so when you put this kick panel back together, it obviously locks in properly. Now we're going to take some sort of panel tool, and we're going to remove this end panel. It just clips in, so you literally can just put a plastic panel tool in behind it, whoop, and pop it off, so that you're left with this here. And then we're going to unclip this whole panel. It just literally just pops right off. It's very simple. So now that panel is unclipped, and at this point you're going to want to shut your vehicle down. And this is where we're going to start, right in here with the remote starter. This is where we're actually going to mount it. So you want to kind of have it right here so that you can route your connections to where they need to go. So the first connection you want to locate is this connector back here, which is the main ignition connector, and then you want to unplug that. So now that's unplugged, what you're going to want to do is route this connector, which is the main ignition harness, over to that location, and connect this one into the ignition switch, and then this one is going to be obviously connected. The old ignition switch harness is going to be connected into here. When I do the old ignition switch harness, I like to do it up inside here. Reason for that is you need to be able to put that steering column cover back on, and if you have it just out in the open somewhere, there may not be room. So if you tuck it up in here after you've made the connection, that's just going to make your life a lot easier when you go to put the truck back together. Okay, you can see that the connections are made. Now this wire, this extra wire here, which is a green and white wire, this is for the vehicle's parking light if you want to connect it. It is the only splice you would actually have to connect. It's going to connect into here, and you'll have a diagram with the remote starter that's going to show you exactly which wire to connect it to if you decide to do that. The next connection we're looking for is the OBD, which is up underneath the dashboard here. You're going to want to pop that out. It pops out easily. You just push in on each side, or even sometimes just on one side, and it unclips. And then you want to go ahead and put your new OBD connection there and plug the old OBD into the female OBD that came with your remote starter. The last connection that you're going to make is this one. This has to go over to the tire pressure monitoring system in order for the remote starter to work. It is on the passenger side, so you're going to attach the this connector to the supplied snake tool, and then you're going to route this over behind the center console to the passenger side. It's pretty simple. I'll show you now. So I've routed that wire across the dashboard over to this corner, because you're going to want to tie it up over here when you're done, because you don't want it to be hanging down by the gas pedal. And then we're just going to snake it over behind the console right there. So I've taped it onto my snake, and like I said, we're just going to put the snake over through right up in that corner and pass it over to the passenger side. Okay, so now we're on the passenger side, and on the lower part of the dashboard there are four clips. 1, 2, 3, 4. You push those towards the firewall at the same time as you pull down on the lower dash panel, and it'll pop right down. Then you're just going to move this panel out of your way, and then you want to find your snake in behind the console here, and there it is there. So just go ahead and pull it over, get it over over to here, and then of course you're going to want to just untape this from the snake. Okay, so now the connector we're looking for is directly behind where it says where it says SRS knee airbag, and it's right there. So you want to unplug that connector. It's actually pointed towards the firewall. Unplug it and then connect the two mating connectors in place of where that connector was.
How's it going?
Sorry about that last guy asking how it's going. So anyway, what you're going to do now is you're going to program your remote starter, and you're going to want to pay attention to this little LED right here. You're going to put your key in, turn the key on, the LED is going to go red, and then it's going to turn blue. Once it turns blue, your starter is programmed. So now we're programmed, and now we need to do tack learn. Okay, the way we do tack learn, have one of your remote starter remotes in your hand. We're going to start the vehicle. We're going to have our foot on the brake pedal holding it down, and while you hold it down, simultaneously press the button on the remote starter until the blue light on the left side of the remote goes out, and you'll hear a clicking sound coming from the remote starter. We'll click once. Once you hear that click, you're done. Now we can test our starter. You're going to do the same thing you did to learn tack. You're going to hold the remote starter down until the blue light on the top right corner of the remote goes out. That's it. The only thing you have left now is to hook up the parking light wire if you want to do that, and again, the diagram for that is included with your remote starter. Thank you.